area hit hard is a close community in Agoura Hills.
Very grim view from where I'm standing right now. In fact, I'm standing where there used to be a home.
Here we are, living in the moment.
Well, every day we hike in these mountains, and this is just paradise, and it's destroyed.
Now look around, isn't this a new day? Make a move, doing things a new way. A new way. 'Cause this is our world, and this is our time. These are our plans, we're gonna let them shine. This is our place in the human race, and we won't stop dreaming. No, we won't stop dreaming. Look ahead, we can see forever. You and me doing it together. Light it up, we can be a million stars. Look at us, don't you see we've come so far?
I first fell in love with this area when I came here in 1971. My dad brought me out here with my family for the schools. But the schools in this area were, as far as I could tell as a young teenage girl, in the middle of nowhere. Over time, I really began to appreciate what that meant. Open space, hills, natural beauty, and a place to breathe. But I have to admit, I had no idea when I was sitting on a rock in my Charger band jacket in 1971 that my journey would take me from Agoura High School to the Agoura Hills City Hall.
These are our plans, we're gonna let them shine.
Hi everyone, I'm Linda Northrup, and I have the honor of serving as the mayor of Agoura Hills this year. And what a year it's been. We started out in late November dealing with the Woolsey fire and everything that came after that. So when I was sworn in the first week of December, I knew that my term as mayor had to be focused on what I call the 3 R's: response, recovery, and resilience. And I am so grateful for the team that I get to work with as we've addressed these issues throughout this year, and we'll be continuing to do that for the rest of 2019. One of the things that's important in recovery is to look at what happened and to take an honest look at what worked and what didn't work, what we need to keep in place and what we can do better. And I was happy to have the support of the council in forming a task force made up of subject matter experts, people on the city staff, as well as members of our community to take a good close look at our response to the Woolsey fire and our emergency preparedness in general. Our teams were out starting to put in place the measures to mitigate the dangers to our community from the debris and mud flow risks that were sure to follow after these enormous fires. One of the things that they did was to immediately retain contractors to reseed and replant critical areas in order to get the plants growing again as quickly as possible. And I was excited to do a tour of the city with Ramiro earlier this year to see all the work our amazing team was doing. And of course, we continue to be grateful and in awe of our first responders, the people who rush into harm's way every day and were particularly heroic in protecting all of us and those we love during the recent Woolsey fires. Our local fire station hosted Public Safety Day, and the community not only got a chance to get up close and personal with the big red fire engines, but also it was a day to express our appreciation and our undying gratitude to our first responders at the fire station. So in addition to immediate response after the fires, the City Council focused on recovery. So we brought forth emergency ordinances and measures to not only streamline the permitting process, but to waive the fees that would normally apply to expediting the reviews and to getting those permits in place. And I'm happy to say that it appears, from everything we've seen, at least one homeowner has been through that process and is in the process of getting the final permits approved. And this is, again, within 6 months. So these ordinances have had exactly the result that we hope, and we know that our other families are going to be going through the same process, and we're going to be supporting them every step of the way. One of the things that was very exciting for me this year was Community Service Days. We had a great turnout from the community as usual, and one of the projects that most excited me was the planting of our butterfly garden in Morrison Park. Earlier this year, I was honored to be one of the mayors to sign on to the National Wildlife Federation's Monarch Pledge. The monarch butterfly population has been decimated in recent years because of a loss of habitat. This pledge is on the part of many mayors in the state of California and frankly all over the country to start working to restore habitat to support the restoration of the monarch butterfly population. We've seen in areas where this pledge has been implemented, the butterfly population is starting to be restored and starting to become healthy again. So I was very excited about that, as well as the other projects. We went out to Old Agoura and kept up the maintenance on our equestrian arena by staining and protecting all the wooden rails that give the community its character and also surround our equestrian arena. Perhaps again, one of the most important things this year is a group of people from the community, including a lot of members of our CERT teams, went door to door to hand out emergency preparedness flyers that have been prepared by the city. Now this past week, we all got a wake-up call, another earthquake in Ridgecrest, and we know we're at risk not only for fires, but for future earthquakes in our region as well. It's not a reason to be sad or a reason to be frightened, it's just a reason to be prepared. As everyone knows, a bridge that had served a huge portion of our Old Agoura community, what we called then the Chesborough Bridge, had been there since 1947 through everything that Mother Nature had thrown at it, and it survived until the Woolsey Fire, when it was destroyed. This is an equestrian community. We have so few of these semi-rural zones, these pockets where nature and people live in harmony, where you can still see horses riding down the streets. When that evacuation order went out, this community came together in a way that I think exemplifies the best in people. The planning for this bridge started the night of December 6th. Now we put on a town hall to invite our residents to come talk to us and tell us their concerns, but the thing that kept coming up over and over is, how do we get out? We're trapped. The Chesborough Bridge is our means of escape. What are you going to do about it, folks in government? And by golly, Sheila's team, the public works teams, this is county land, this is not in Agoura Hills. So that's why these partnerships are so important. Her team stepped up that night. Mark, John, you were there, and they said, let's talk now. It takes a year to a year and a half to design and construct a bridge. There are so many components. Mark touched on a few of them. You've got to engineer it, you've got to have the right support, you've got to know what your loads are. And this is a challenging enterprise to do that and still maintain the rural character that we so value in this community. But her team took it on. They took it on, and the people of Old Agoura took it on, and they worked together and they hashed it out.
Less than 6 months ago, the Woolsey Fire burned hundreds of homes, other structures in the area. But of course, not just the burden on the human element, but also all of our beautiful nature, all of our wildlife. And to me, it's just amazing how resilient Mother Nature is. She says you can't keep a good woman down, and essentially that's what we see. But she didn't rebuild the bridge. No matter how much we asked her, she said, no, really, really sorry, don't do bridges. Do what runs under bridges, do what comes around bridges, don't do bridges. So it's really kind of a tribute to the vitality of the county.
We live here, and this is one of the most beautiful places, not just in Los Angeles, but to me in the whole world. This little road to Old Agoura, and this bridge that connects us to nature and our little community in this backyard that we call the Santa Monica Mountains. It's a very special place. So this is a symbolic moment to me because we're finally trying to build a little bit of a bridge back to normalcy here, and it's a pretty darn good normal.
It is my honor today, Jess, to ask you to come up and help me unveil the plaque, which is going to commemorate the new bridge that we've got built here. So Jess, would you come up with me? Because I want to let everybody know that this will be known as the Jess Thomas Bridge.
Thank you all. It's a pleasure and a real honor to have my name on this engineering wonder here. It might not be one of the 7 of the world, but it means the world to Old Agoura. Thank you.
I have to say a big thank you to Supervisor Sheila Kuehl and the amazing staff at the LA County Public Works Department. The people that were involved are too numerous to name, but John Kelly and Mark Pastrella are two who were at the lead of this amazing effort to rebuild an important piece of infrastructure for our community in record time. The last prongs of my initiatives this year surrounding our recovery from the recent Woolsey fire disaster is resilience. And one of the ways that I know this community is resilient, because I see it every day, is the way they come together to support, help, and encourage one another. Well, I wanted to be a part of that, not just by sitting on the dais and letting people come and listening to their comments, although my task force had a really nice listening session where people did come to us and bring us their concerns, their ideas, and we're continuing that process of outreach. But personally, I wanted to connect on the community outside of the City Council chambers. So I'm thrilled that my Mayor's Table initiative has had a full table every single month. And we do that every month at local businesses. It's a way that I've been able to introduce people to businesses, restaurants, and other places in the city that I love and go to, and also a way for me to have conversations with people on an informal basis and to meet lots of people in the community. I've absolutely loved my Mayor's Table events. We're here in Chumash Park on a beautiful Sunday afternoon getting ready for our concert in the park and our amazing laser light show. Here we are at our 15th annual Night at the Adobe. And tonight we get together to celebrate as a community before our big parade tomorrow and our weekend of celebration in Reyes Adobe Park. Tonight we bring the community together. We have local vendors that are bringing food and wine and beer. Of course, Ladyface Ale is here, as they have been for so many years. We have an artisan fair where people can buy crafts and necklaces, soaps, candles by local artisans. And in the Adobe itself, we have wonderful displays of art from both students as well as local artists. It's really going to be a fun evening, and I can't wait for the parade tomorrow. Well, as you can tell from this video, it's been an action-packed year. And while we've had a lot to recover from, we've also had a lot to celebrate and enjoy as a community. I couldn't be more grateful to have had the honor and privilege of serving as the mayor of my hometown this past year. But none of the things that we've accomplished would have been possible without the amazing team that I'm fortunate enough to work with. I want to thank my fellow council members, Mayor Pro Tem Elise Buckley-Weber, Council Member Dennis Weber, Council Member Deborah Klein-Lopez, and Council Member Chris Anstead for all of their help and support throughout this exciting and challenging year. I also want to thank our city staff, led by our city manager, Greg Ramirez. I want to call out for recognition all of the heads of his department who've been very busy this year, not only helping us with our recovery efforts, but continuing to run the many programs that benefit all of our residents. I want to single out for special recognition, though, our Public Works Director, Ramiro Adeva. I personally saw the many hours he spent above and beyond the normal expectations of his job, helping us both recover from the Woolsey fire and protecting people from the ongoing risk of debris and mud flow. Well, in sum, it's been a wonderful year, and I'm kind of sorry to see it come to a close. But I'll still be on the council, and I can't wait to work next year with the rest of the team, continuing to do great things in our city. Thank you so much.